Crypto is plagued by pump and dumps, by manipulation. The B token has crashed by 80%. But maybe there's an opportunity here, an opportunity in the way that we trade against that manipulation. Now, a few days ago, this was the headlines. Audira delivers 208% gain. The token rallied just to come back crashing down. But sometimes those pump and dumps, they can revert and we can find even higher price levels afterward. This here is the VVV token. So is this a potential outcome for Beat or Audira as well? Let's have a look at the on-chain data. Let's see who's buying and selling here. Let's try to figure out where Beat is going from here. Hi, my name is Gerhard. I've been in the crypto space for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago. And in this video, I'm going to share how I outperformed buying and holding Bitcoin by on average 2 to 3% per month. Here's my track record over the last 5 years. My portfolio measured in BTC. So not every month is an outperformer, but the long term, that's what matters. In the last 2 years, I also started to publish my trades in real time. That also can be 100% verified. That's at 47% per annum. And most of the trades are without any leverage. I don't know many people here on YouTube that are willing to share all of their trade history. But of course, the open trades, they are just available to the current members that are in premium. So what's going on here with the Beat token? Some people say that they all saw it coming and that the bottom formed exactly according to their models. So this was when the price was at $1.87. We did go a bit below that though. We bounced at $1.51. People are speculating on a base forming and now potentially buying. But is that the most likely scenario? Because when we already say that this token is likely manipulated because it pumps and dumps, how easy is it really to figure out where something might be bottoming? By the way, if you're using X, formerly known as Twitter, then feel free to also follow this account over here. I publish various data points on many cryptocurrencies regularly over here. Make sure though that you follow the right account, as in it's at BitcoinStrat. Do not follow any other fake or imposter account. It's just at BitcoinStrat. That's the only public account. Now, Audira is a funny project. When we visit the website via computer, we see please access on your mobile device. There isn't even a desktop version of the website available. Now, if we do that, and we do access the page via mobile browser, we do get something at least. An interface that still promotes NFTs and that also has a link towards a Chinese version. And now it appears as if Beat can't fall any further from here, right? We went up quickly and now we are back down. But have a look at the chart in logarithmic form. So this measures how much percent changes there are. Somebody has bought up a lot of Beat token very, very quickly. But the recent price dump that we saw shows that not all of that supply got sold off. There's actually still a lot left that could be sold in the not so distant future. So my impression is that the people or the entities that are manipulating Beat, they can now decide if they want to pump it again or if they want to dump it further. They're not out of tokens just yet. Now let's also quickly talk about tokenomics. As in, we did have our 2 pump and dumps in Audira. This is in the price, but measured in market cap, we see that the current pump is much, much larger in magnitude than the older pump at the end of last year. That only went to 600 million. This time we went to 2.4 billion. The market cap is at 500 million. The fully diluted valuation is at 1.6 billion. The current market cap after the dump is 500 million. The fully diluted valuation is 1.6 billion. So only roughly a third of all tokens are currently circulating. How is that supply expanding? Here are the tokenomics. We've got 2 scenarios. One scenario where the circulating supply just expands without any burns or buybacks, and another one where the expansion might be slightly lower. Now, how quick is that expansion? Here is the answer. Even with some buybacks and burns, we are looking at 66% more Beat tokens just 1 year from now. And the year afterwards, there's another supply expansion of 31%. Now, a project that doesn't even have a desktop website, is it going to grow by 66% per annum? I am not so sure. What I am sure of though, is that there is a lot of social attention on the token. Have a look at the engagements. 15 million. That's over this time period. Yesterday, apparently more than 500,000 social posts. My impression is that this is driven by bots. Because look at how many creators in the space talked about Audira. It's only 554 yesterday. Everything screams that this is far from an organic rally and subsequent sell-off. We've got 143,000 holders on the Binance Smart Chain. But have a look at the details of those holders. On the left side, we see the number of wallets that have at least 500 Audira tokens. In the middle, it's 5,000. On the right, it's 50,000. Now, the small retail investor tended to decline in numbers. The medium-sized investor went up and down. And the whales with 50,000 tokens, which is now close to $100,000 worth of the token. That went from 200 wallets down to 115 wallets in the course of just a few days, back to 150 wallets. This jumps up and down. And again, this is at least $100,000 worth of the token. Like there is one or two entities that move all the supply on chain. And those entities, they just own all of those wallets. Now, most of the trading of the BEAT token does not happen on the spot market. It happens on the Perpetual futures market. So the levered bets on the price. So what happens here is that certain people have impact on the price. They can push it up or down to their liking and thus liquidate the longs and the shorts on those bets. Imagine you're a sports betting house. You allow people to make a bet on team A or team B, but at the same time, you also bribed the referee. You can decide if team A or team B wins. And if most retail investors currently bet on team A, you just make sure that team B wins and you pocket all the liquidation fees. So in the last 24 hours, we had 38 million worth of trading volume on the spot market, but on the Perpetual futures market, that was 242 million. The open interest went sky high, as in there was 370 million worth of bets on Audira. That then crashed, as in the inherent leverage in the asset fell and with it the price. The trading volume has an extremely high correlation with the price as well. So a lot of attention means a higher price. Less attention means a lower price. And of course, liquidations are getting maximized. When we went up, all the shorts got liquidated. When we went down, the remaining longs got liquidated as well. But have a look at how this was mainly a short squeeze. Way more people lost their money betting on a falling Audira price than betting on a rising price. And so we had those two pump and dumps, right? One at the end of last year and now just the recent. They are slightly different though. Have a look at the funding rate. Those pump and dumps got orchestrated in a different way. The first one was a classical short squeeze, as in people were betting continuously at a falling price, and so the market makers bought up more of the BEAT token, pushing it higher and liquidate everybody. This time around, it was different. This time around, the market makers pushed up the price using long leverages and then just closed those positions. Really, fundamentally, we have to ask ourselves, if we trade an asset, where is our edge in the market? Where are we better informed than the average market participant? If we are better informed, if we've got more skills, then we can potentially beat it. But if our competition is not the average retail investor, if our competition is insiders and market makers, it's much, much harder to beat those. We want to have easy competition, not hard competition. We don't want to play against the market maker. We don't want to play against the casino or the sports betting house that can decide if A or B wins. And that's exactly what's going on here with Audira. If you're betting on the BEAT token, you are entering a game that you cannot win long term. The odds are stacked against you. It's literally gambling. The vast majority of people will lose because the market makers will push the price exactly in that direction that most losses occur, that most liquidations occur. Now, that does not mean that we can't make money by trading the altcoin market, but we have to be selective. I personally prefer inflating altcoins that don't see that much manipulation. A small short squeeze here and there is fine if the market cap is backed by enough organic demand. For example, let's say the Trump token gets manipulated up because some kind of news, and then subsequently it comes back down. That's fine because long term the Trump token gets sold off because again of the tokenomics. The degree of manipulation for Trump, for example, isn't that bad. This here is the trading track record over the last 2 years. And when we search for something like Trump, just as an example, we can see that not with every single trade I make money, but in general, if we get a pump and dump, So let's just open the notification when I entered and when I closed. It does sometimes make sense to bet against the manipulation, right? So here we've got Trump relative to Solana at the top or relative to the others market cap at the bottom. It tends to go down long term because it's an inflating cryptocurrency. The pump happened, the dump subsequently continued, and then we just closed that position later on when we hit the lower end of that trading range. So that's a valid setup. Those are the kinds of trades that I like to do. I don't like to trade something where there's zero organic demand and where there's zero token inflation of a team that wants to keep the price somewhat stable. The people that pushed up the B token, they couldn't care less where the price is long term. So yeah, if you want to follow my trades in real time, if you just want to copy trade me, then feel free to check out the premium membership. If you don't have time to do manual copy trading, there's also automatic copy trading that's available to the annual members though. So I very much recommend you to first start with the simple monthly plan, and then afterwards, after you've made your first gains, you can then decide whether or not you want to reinvest that back into yearly and then save some money in the process. There's also a 7-day money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just email me here within the first 7 days and I'll refund you. No questions asked. If it's your very first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish here regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. Helps the channel grow. See you next time here on YouTube or see you on premium. Link to that pops up here on the screen as well. See you next time. Cheers.